Right.
So that's not too bad. That's a nice thing. Are we done with nice things?
That's all I can think of.
Okay, that's all.
If I think of anything, he's got a very nicely shaven beard.
That's true. That's true. He's dressed professionally today. He's got the hoodie on. Got
So Brad actually has been, of course, that's Brad Nelson there on the right, as you can see. Brad has been kind of psyched about Junk Reanimator lately. He wrote about it this week.
He reminds me of myself. He gets real hooked to a deck. He loves trading posts. He'll play trading posts for months. He loves this deck. He'll play this deck for a long time. And it's kind of like the mentality where you get real comfortable with the deck and you play it at a different level than those who would just pick it up right off the bat without any practice.
Yeah. His opponent, Gabriel Owens, there on the left on blue, white, red flash, which is, I think, at the moment the consensus quote-unquote best deck of the format at the moment. Put 3 players into the top 8 last week.
Yep.
And we have turn 1 Arbor Elf from Brad Nelson.
We saw this all over the room, so let's go. We can see how this plays out. I like this matchup for Brad here.
So Augur of Bolus from Gabriel, and he's going to find, looks like Counterflux, Midgame Mortars, and
Harvest Fire.
Is it a Harvest Fire?
I think so.
I thought it was a Boros Reckoner, but you could only see the side of it. It could have very well been a Harvest Fire. And he takes the Mortars, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good pick against these decks. He has things that are just blown out when he gets to the overload cost of this.
And a Lingering Soul from Brad Nelson on turn 2.
My favorite card in Magic, easily.
Yeah.
Best creature, best sorcery. All time.
Best flashback spell.
Best flashback spell. Best white card.
Look at those tokens that Brad has.
That's pretty.
They look a lot like him.
I don't know. They're kind of green looking, don't they?
Yeah.
A little simian, if you will.
All right.
Looks like so. If you can see his hand, he's got a lot of control aspects in his hand. He's got the Mortars. He's got a Revelation. The blue-eye-red player, Gabriel here. He's got.
I believe a Boros Charm in there?
Boros Charm, yeah. I think it's 2 Boros Charms. He's flashing his hand a little quickly, but
yeah,
it looks like he has no red, which is a problem, and no other land, to be honest. I think I would have thought, is that Thought Scour?
It looks like Thought Scour.
I would have Thought Scour main phase to hit the red mana.
Yeah, I agree.
But we'll see what happens here.
So Brad swings in with his 2 Lingering Souls and passes back, and this is his land drop there.
Oh, so we're all
Thought Scour end of turn from Gabriel.
We're all a little short on land here. He mills 2 lands.
Milled a red source. Didn't see what he drew.
Nope.
It looks like it
I see a
was
Reckoner.
Yep. All right, draws for the turn, and it was another Sphinx's Revelation. So he's got double Sphinx's Revelation, double. Oh no, it's just 1 Boros Charm.
1 Boros Charm. Okay.
Boros Reckoner and a Midgame Mortars in his hand.
So we have full information. Just honestly, the land's going to be a killer here.
Augur of Bolus swings in for 1. Brad draws.
I see on Barrel Rights, he has every card he could ever want in his hand. Just needs the land to do it.
And no land drop from Brad. Swings in with the tokens, passes back to Gabriel.
All right, I think that's another
Thought Scour.
Yep. So we're gonna do this main phase. I hope. Please do main phase. Okay, we're doing
and
main
he
phase.
does. Main phase Thought Scour.
There's nothing wrong with playing an instant on your turn to hit land drops. Let it be Think Twice. Let it be Thought Scour. It doesn't matter. You must do it main because it's not worth the bluff to miss land drops.
To miss land drops, exactly. He does find a land there, gets a Steam Vents, puts it in play untapped, and has a Boros Reckoner to show for it.
Reckoner in this matchup is not too scary for Brad, so he can just easily fly around it and not worry for a while. Oh, that's a good card to draw. I think it's Mulch. He just needs this desperately here.
Yep, Brad casts the Mulch. Finds Forest, Unburial Rights, Temple Garden, Unburial Rights.
2 Unburial Rights. That's about as best as you could hope for, minus 1 creature there.
That's a sweet Mulch.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And did he get a black land or was it Temple Garden Forest?
Temple Garden.
Right,
and Forest, yeah. So he plays the Temple Garden tapped, swings in with his flying Brad tokens.
Yep.
Right over the Reckoner.
I like how he's being aggressive here. Mainly because putting himself at 8 cards in hand, he knows the Angel's going to come in and wipe the board next turn for him.
Yeah, discards the Angel of Serenity and passes back.
I really like the Reanimator decks. Again, if your opponent's not packing the rest in pieces, you can catch them way off guard. And a lot of people will take them out when they don't see Reanimator do well, and then you'll just sweep in and crush somebody.
Yeah, I think Graveyard Hate has kind of been on the decline lately, which may be one of the reasons that Brad is so pumped about playing Junk Reanimator.
Yeah, I think in this scenario he needs a revelation for 1. Like he needs to just
to
hit land
cycle it.
drops. He has to hit land drops.
He's going to swing with the Reckoner and the Augur.
This is another reason why I don't like 4 revelation in the deck over some other cards that draw cards that hit land drops, because when you have those opening hands with 2 revelations and 3 land or 2 land, those hands are really unkeepable. And this is going to kind of hurt him here if he can't get to the point where revelation's good, having 5, 6, 7 mana.
Yeah, you're making the assumption that you're going to get to the point where those revelations can be super powerful, but you know, in these situations, you
just want to think twice.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to think twice. You want to Azorius Charm cantrip.
Even Forbidden Alchemy.
Yeah, that's why I still play 2 and 2. You gotta hit those land drops. All right, so looks like he's still thinking if he should do it. I know he's in combat right now. Okay, no, he took the 4. Now he's saying about he should revelation here for 1.
Oh, that doesn't look like what he's doing. He's going to Mizium Mortars just to...
He can't. He's trying to Mizium Mortar his own creature, and he can't.
Yeah, yeah. You can't target your own creatures.
Nope.
Creatures your opponents control.
Nope.
That's kind of an odd thing. It's
right.
You know, an easy mistake to make because
that's a reason a weakness of cyclonic rift and cards like that.
Right. It's the overload cards.
Right.
It's target creature you don't control. Replace the word target with all creatures you don't control,
right.
or whatever. So.
And I noticed he didn't revelation for 1 here. And if he hits a land off this revelation in the turn, is another reason where it's okay to cast instance on your own turn.
It certainly is. So Brad's turn now. Swings in with his 2 spirits, and now it looks like he is considering the Unburial Rites.
Yeah, I think that's he might. He's also thinking about Theriatus maybe, but no, Barrel Rights here is the best, easily.
So Unburial Rites gets Angel of Serenity, which is going to blink out the Reckoner and the Augur of Bolus.
I don't like blinking the Augur here. I think the Augur doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the 1 damage is not that relevant, but the spell could be.
Right, yeah. I think I would have left the Augur blank.
He just wants to attack with Arbor Elf. He wants that Arbor Elf to do.
Get him.
There's the cycled Sphinx's Revelation at Brad's end step, and I don't think it was a land, but
I don't think so either.
That was a Thought Scour. Draws for the turn and finds Is It Charm.
All right, here we are still on the. We're getting kind of a cluttered board here.
On Brad's side, Gabriel's is nice and clean and tidy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Unfortunately for Gabriel.
So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what else at this point. And if you pass this turn again here, we're going to Thought Scour end a turn again instead of main. I don't think at this point. I don't think Gabriel can win this game.
Yeah, he's pretty far behind. He does add a Reckoner to the board, but that's not. It's just a 3/3 really. It's not doing a lot for Gabriel. Brad swings in with the Angel and the 2 tokens, and we see a Thragtusk and an Avacyn's Pilgrim added to Brad's side of the board.
Let's go into a hypothetical mode. If he were to main phase Thought Scour, main phase Revelation, and hit the 6 land drops and overloaded Mizium Wars, might have put him back into this game. But now they're just, besides a Terminus here, which is not in his deck list, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no Terminus main deck. Looks like the board has no Terminus either.
All right, so is he? He's wrathing here. He's doing the old-fashioned.
He doesn't even play main deck Supreme Verdict.
No, I assume it's in the board. It should be in the board.
Yeah, he's got 2 copies, but
board,
not going to help him at the moment.
Nope.
He's stuck on 4 lands. Has a Reckoner facing down 7 damage worth of flyers on the other side of the board. Not to mention the 7 power worth of ground pounders.
Oh yeah, and then it concedes and. I think, like I said, I think this matchup's good for Brad. And looking at his board, he's got the online hit of Tormod's Crypt. And I was having a conversation with Joe Burnell, I can't even pronounce the name right now, Joe Burnell, and earlier, and he, I was telling him that you kind of have to play Recipes because the Tormod's Crypt is the one-time shot of it makes it that much worse. One time I flashback and removed 2 cards with the white flashback RFG card for graveyards. It purified the grave. It hit Unburial Rights and still got crushed that game. You need something static and out there all the time. But we'll see. There's a good testing session here to see if Crypt's enough to beat the heavy pack and reanimator deck.
Yeah. Yeah, so looking at the boards, and we'll start with Gabriel. So as you mentioned, he does have 2 Tormod script. That's all his graveyard hate. He has a couple of Supreme Verdicts. He's got a Psychic Spiral, Dispel, 2 negates. So he's got a little counter spell package there, and 2 copies of Jace Memory Adept.
The only board he can do is the Tormod script and negate. Dispel is garbage against his deck. Psychic Spiral, Geist of St. Traft is bad against Thragtusk green decks. Supreme Verdict, he could board in a Supreme Verdict or 2, but again, if you're relying on Tormod script as your graveyard hate, it's not as powerful as if you were to go Rest in Peace Supreme Verdict, which deals with things forever, rather than Tormod script one time and then Supreme Verdict. I'd probably board in Supreme Verdict too. Definitely not Jace, definitely not Assemble the Legion.
Yeah, those are, Assemble doesn't fit in this matchup, but just to note, Assemble the Legion, we were walking around, seems like a lot of players are on that. And,
that is a poppin' card right now.
Yeah, we're going to see it, I think, a lot today. I suspect.
I think so as well. It's a great answer to the control decks in the mirror match. When it first got released, I put it on Twitter. I'm like, man, why is this card not blue, white 3? I would play it in my sideboard. It reminds me of Luminarch Ascension. Obviously, it's more expensive, but it's one of those cards where you play it, you leave it alone, and they're dead.
Yeah.
This is one of those. Let's see what Brad might board in. What do you think?
Well, we'll just run down his board there. He's got 3 Somber Walled Sage, 4 Acidic Slime. That's one that you don't see 4 of a lot, but nice answer to the Assemble the Legion, by the way.
Yeah,
not that he's going to see it.
Yeah.
But some decks are running that as an answer. 2 Sever the Bloodline, Cavern of Souls, 2 Tragic Slip, 3 Rocks Faithbender. So as far as he's going,
I think it's a control deck. You still board in Acidic Slime.
Yeah.
I don't know how many you would board in, but Acidic Slime is good against. I'm sure Brad knows the switch from blue, white, red to Rest in Peace to Tormod script. So if they just lay a Tormod script out there, which would be an amateur play, but I think it still is possible. I bring the Acidic Slime just in case to free the world.
Yeah. Essentially, just make him use the crypt at an unopportune time.
Exactly. Besides the Acidic Slime, I don't see any cards that are very good in this matchup. Somber Wall Sage wouldn't be bad. I'm not sure what he brings that in against. I guess decks that have light spot removal, control decks maybe.
Yeah.
But the deck that he's playing against has mortars and spot removal, and is it Charm that kills it? So I don't know if Sage is a good board here. I think it's just a 6 line, to be honest.
Yeah, seems like. What do you think he takes out? What's not even?
His main deck, and this is the problem with these kinds of decks. It's hard to board out of the Reanimator combo S-type decks. That's why I don't play them, because it's too difficult for me. But I would probably take out. Looking at this, you can't cut any of these spells. You need your mulches.
Right.
You need the
salvages. You need the rights.
And a lot of times, what I think Brad's plan is against the control decks is to board out the Reanimator package, a lot of the Reanimator cards, and just bring a 4 to 6 line. So when people do bring Rest in Peace, you don't need the 8 mana for your hoof, because it's turned into Acidic Slimes and more of a ramp deck rather than a Reanimator deck. You got your Somber Wall Sage to answer those by. There we go. Just figured it out. See, my brain just deduced it little by little.
just needed to talk about it.
Need to talk it out. So against the Rest in Peace, that's when you bring in that package. So I see him cutting maybe one of a creature here, one of a creature here for Acidic Slime. Not cutting the Resto Angels, because that's the dream. You want to go Acidic Slime, Resto Angel, blow it up, and just get the lands out of there. So maybe like a hoof, Prayer Hoof Behemoth.
Yeah.
Maybe a Barrel Rights, knowing that he's going to bring in a couple of the Tormod scripts, but nothing too crazy there. So.
Yeah, assuming he's going to see some sort of graveyard hate, he could just hedge a little bit on that.
Right. All right, looks like they're opening it up with their 7 here.
Yeah. Now, if you read Chapin's article this week, he, I believe, mentioned a couple times that people should be picking up with the graveyard hate. So,
right, and I'm a firm believer of never dropping it. There's been 3 Rest in Peace on my board since I got beat silly at a Grand Prix. You just don't need to bring in 9 cards against certain matchups. Maximize your matchups. 3 here, 4 here, and then run with it.
So we've got the turn 1 Avacyn's Pilgrim from Brad, and his turn 2 play appears to be. Oh, well, he's going to play land first, and he's going to play Mulch. And he hits Arbor Elf, Restoration Angel, Temple Garden, and Grizzly Salvage.
I like the land first because he's like, oh wait, he could have a Syncopate.
Sure, yeah. It's like I'm gonna
No other
add
reason to do that before the mulch.
Right.
And he has an elf here of some sort, I think. Or maybe he doesn't. I think he has an elf. Yeah.
And he does. It's another Avacyn's Pilgrim. Passes back to Gabriel.
The Weary of a Detention Sphere, maybe.
Yeah.
I see a Geist, so he boarded in Geist in draft. Very surprising. I don't like Geist against these green decks. I'm pretty sure I saw Geist. When he brings his hand back forward, we can take a look again.
Gabriel passes back.
No.
And a Gavany Township from Brad.
This is the favorite alternate win condition of the Reanimator and Junk Reanimator decks.
Yeah. Make my guys huge.
Yep. I see on barrel rights, and I see a bunch of land, and I see a Sever the Bloodline.
Bloodlines in there. Yeah. So he boarded in the Severs then.
Sever I don't like in this matchup as much because you can't hit Geist, he boards it in, but it does hit Reckoner. So,
yeah,
I mean,
think that's maybe his main target, like to be able to respond. Well, not respond, to be able to answer the Reckoner.
I agree. I think the only danger is when you have the sorcery speed removal spells is the Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
So you need to time it perfectly and hope it gets there.
So land from Gabriel passes back. Brad activates the Gavany Township at the end of turn. Untaps, just plays Temple Garden and appears to be. I thought he passed back, but
I guess he doesn't have maybe he doesn't have Geist. I see Resto Angel in his hand. I see Snapcaster and a land.
I see something that looks like it could be Geist.
He did not play Resto Angel on the turn.
He did not. Plays an island, and he's going to go ahead and play
Supreme Verdict.
That's what
why.
it was that you thought was Geist, I think.
Yeah,
it has
that's the Geist. That's the old trick. Yeah, I couldn't imagine him bringing in Geist in this matchup.
It's an alternate art Supreme Verdict. It's the John Avon Buy a Box art, which also I believe the lithographs are still available on Star City Games.
There you go. All right, the old we got a Barrel Rights, lack of value there into the 5-mana 3/4 Angel, but the flashback makes it worth it. I see Harvest Pyre, Electromancer in his hand. The Resto Angel I saw in Snapcaster. I think it's Electromancer.
Yeah, it's not Electromancer. I think you saw Counterflux.
Counterflux, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I get Staticaster and Staticaster and Counterflux mixed up too. They look kind of similar. They have a looking artwork.
It's my old age kicking in with the vision here.
So Restoration Angel smashes in for 3 for Brad. And so far, Gabriel's just hitting his land drops, and end of turn Restoration Angel as Brad passes the turn.
This is where we'll see Sphinx of Revelation shine. When you're hitting land drops, everything's fun and great. So we'll see a powerful spell coming up soon, hopefully when he draws it.
He's got a Mizium Mortars. I believe I saw a Snapcaster.
And the Counterflux instead of the...
Yeah, of course, the Counterflux. And he has a second Supreme Verdict, so he drew both of his Supreme Verdicts. Doesn't need this one now, but he has nice insurance for later.
He needs to attack here. I don't see... You can't play the no attack, no block game. All right, there we go. And he's going to...
So he goes ahead and...
waste 2 removal spells on this.
Mortars and Harvest Pyre to take out Brad's Restoration Angel. Needed to use the second removal spell because Brad activated Gavany Township.
It's an interesting play because he has Barrel Rights. So if we're wasting 2 cards per Angel, we're going to run out of cards at this game here.
Yeah, that trade favored Brad.
Yeah, heavily, I think.
But Gabriel crashes in with his Angel and passes back to Brad.
All right, I think Brad obviously drew the 6 slime.
Yeah, what kind of lands do you have over there?
I don't see a Liliana at 6 right now, so we're acidic slime here.
And there it is, acidic slime, and Brad gets to choose which dual land he wants to take out. I mean, there's one island there that he could potentially take, but I think he'll take a dual land.
Dual land, definitely.
Those are the steam vents.
And next turn he has the Barrel Rights, the flashback, hit his acidic slime, blow up another land. So he's got the value we were talking about during board here, where that's what you dream of doing. Draws.
Yeah, the acidic slime Restoration Angel combo is pretty backbreaking against these Revelation decks.
Right. I mean, just these decks depend on having vast resources toward the end of the game.
Restoration Angel gets in for Gabriel after he plays a land, passes back.
That's a good draw. That's a Angel Serenity. I don't know if he Brad brought in the caverns or not, but if he did, that's going to be a pretty good finisher there.
Acidic Slime gets in for 2.
I think if I was Brad, I would play the Angel here. Yeah, and because once he gets countered, which it will, he can just bring it back next turn.
Yep, counter flux for Angel of Serenity. Puts it right in the bin where Brad is just fine with it hanging out.
The bin for these decks is like the hand, pretty much.
It's a junk deck. Just throw it all in the bin.
Throw it all in the bin.
In the garbage.
And I want the viewers to kind of picture if a Rest in Peace was in play against Brad, how hard his life would be.
Yeah.
and then that's the hate is just necessary, I think.
So Angel gets in. If those Tormod's Crypts were Rest in Peace, he hasn't drawn those either. So
right.
Officially, he wouldn't have the Rest in Peace either.
Right. Definitely.
Acidic Slime gets in for Brad.
Yeah, with this hand being 2 severs, if he were to draw that Tormod's Crypt, that would hurt a lot less than the old RIP, I think. I think that he's going to flash back here. He's weary of another counterspell, which he has a Snapcaster, so he does have the other counterspell, but I don't think Brad's deck's one to sit here and just hang out and wait.
Yeah, you kind of
severing here. Okay, that's good too, I think.
Sever the Bloodline on Restoration Angel.
I think that Gabriel has to counter this to put pressure on Brad. Brad already played his land for turn, I think. No, he did not.
No, I don't think
he did not. No, never mind. So then again, now knowing that, I would not waste a Snapcaster here because you cannot beat.
Yeah. I wonder if that's he's trying to bait out the counter, the Snapcaster counter flux.
You should definitely let this resolve.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
It is just too risky. Is that a Revelation in his hand? So he's got Snapcaster, Thought Scour. No, it's another Screen Burning. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. And he let it resolve, thank goodness. Thinking for a long time here pretty much signals to Brad that he has a counterspell, but Brad's going to go for it anyway, which I don't think is a bad play. I think it's fine.
Yeah, he's just going to make him use it,
right?
Especially now that he knows it's there. I think after all that thinking,
he sets it up so if Brad, no matter what Brad draws, he feels like he can resolve it now. Make him run out of counter magic.
So Snapcaster Counterflux takes care of the flashback Unburial Rites, and we're left with a board of Acidic Slime on Brad's side and Snapcaster Mage on Gabriel's side. Snapcaster going to get in for 2, knock Brad to 7, and pass back, no land drop there. I believe he drew another counter. No, it's his Azorius Charm, sorry.
Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. Oh yeah, he drew a hoof here.
Crater Hoof Behemoth.
And in response to this hoof, he's going to have to Thought Scour. And I think, again, I sound like a broken record, but we need to do these main things. Oh, he did not respond.
No, Hoof resolves.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hoof and Slime getting in.
That's 7-11 damage. That's dead. I cannot believe. That's interesting. He needed to respond there to stop the death from happening. If he draws a counterspell of this, he's going to be very upset with himself. Oh, yeah, he has a charm. He drew the charm. Okay.
So hoof goes on top.
I still think you Thought Scour in response here because countering the hoof is much better than putting it on top here. He's going to mill it here, which is dangerous again because Brad has so many ways to get it back.
Mills away the Crater Hoof Behemoth and a Thrag Tusk and draws, looks like, Is It Charm off of the Thought Scour. Okay. Did he draw for the turn? I didn't even see
he drew. He did not draw for the turn.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that was Is It Charm was off the...
He missed his draw for the turn. Is It Charm was off the Thought Scour.
Right.
Is It Charm deals with the Acidic Slime.
He subtracts 1 card from his hand. Oh, and he drew the Unburial Rites. And this is the big danger of thinking the Azorius Charm Thought Scour trick will get you there because his deck is made to have him in the bin. All right, well, they're figuring out the card
now they're figuring out the you missed the card. So Thought Scour resolved, hit the Thrag Tusk and the Crater Hoof Behemoth, and I believe then he drew off the Thought Scour. Then he untapped and swung with the Snapcaster. And that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. They're going to let him draw a card. Okay.
And it's an Azorius charm.
All right, well, we're back in it again.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the hoof here is not lethal. I'll put him at 1. I think you obviously on barrel rights here and get Resto Angel and then get the whole package here. Or not Resto, excuse me, Angel Serenity. Yeah, that's what Brad's going to do, I think.
On burial rights, and he gets, looks like hoof.
Oh,
no, Thragtusk, sorry. Thought he was pointing to the hoof.
That's interesting.
So Brad's
if he gets Angel here, he puts 3 monsters, subtract the hoof, you leave in the art for the flashback, and then if Gabriel answered that Angel, then he would just be like
all those guys
facing down a monster and all. Yeah, but then he has 8 mana. He can easily
cast any one.
Lay him right back down. You know.
It's like a Reckoner off the top for Gabriel. Brad should be up to 12, I believe.
He's at 12, yeah. I think Brad's playing it safe, trying to. His life total being at 7 is a little risky.
Oh, he's at 10. Okay.
Oh, did he
play a land untap?
I don't think so.
That's apparently the life total we're getting from
we missed one earlier.
So Reckoner comes down for Gabriel. That'll put the brakes on the Thragtusk.
Yep. It's always the best answer to Thragtusk.
It certainly is.
Here's the Sever we talked about.
Sever the Bloodline will just answer the Reckoner.
Flashback hoof, and this should be. Well, he has his Azorius Charm. We'll see what happens here.
And he doesn't even attempt.
Was
well, I guess it was going to be lethal either way because the Azorius Charm has to target an attacking creature.